Today we're going to get to see one of the crazier badge cams I've seen this whole year. Hi everyone, welcome to today's research-informed badge cam lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I am your host, John Correa.
I'm your co-host, Mike Williver. Today's video comes to us from Fair Oaks, Virginia in the DMV.
Palm pepper spray is next generation OC spray. It's hot at 1.4% major capsaicinoids, and its modular design means you can customize it exactly to you. 3 different setups, lots of different color combinations. You can make it exactly as you like. And the flip top safety prevents accidental discharges. It's 10 to 12 foot range and 25 half-second blasts. Make sure that you can keep that long range eye poke at long range. I trust Palm OC and I recommend it for everyone for self-defense.
Officer is on routine patrol when he sees that guy drive by with apparently his inspection sticker is invalid or expired. And so he's gonna flip a UE, initiate a traffic stop to check this guy out and see what he's doing. There's badge cam audio here. We have dash cam audio. We have a couple of other officers' audio as well, and their badge cams. You're gonna see him pull up pretty darn short here. You're gonna see him jam his brakes on real hard. Let's listen into what happens from here.
X-ray 800 on a traffic stop area 810 12914 Fairfax Parkway 1436.
That was a heck of a stop, sir.
I have a gun and I'm armed, I'll let you know. So why did you pull me over?
Your inspection sticker expired
yeah, they
last...
know. Call Joe Biden or call George Bush.
What's your driver's
No,
license?
there's no, I don't have a driving license.
Why not?
Go back, sit in the fucking car and leave.
No, sir.
No?
It doesn't work that way.
Okay, so go ahead, do whatever you want to do.
Can I get your name?
No,
No?
no. You're fucking killing me. You fucking people don't get a disability. Fucking, I have kids and I have a lot of fucking bullshit things. So why you fucking treat me this way?
Set 80.
Set 80.
Can I get a supervisor to my location, please?
You fucking dumbass fucking people. You fucking asshole.
Majestic.
I can't even go back to my
at
fucking country because of you fucking
Green Bar
people.
Shopping
I
Center.
started in fucking army. Every time
Car
you fucking
80
you
or
come
car
and
81
fucking
Bravo.
pull me over. Every time.
Do you have the registration to the vehicle?
Nothing.
You got nothing?
Nothing.
All right.
Yeah.
And you don't want to give me your name?
Sir, why? Look. Hey, I died in when I was serving you with you liars, with you people, with American status.
I served as well, sir.
Yeah. So you brought me to you fucking people brought me to this goddamn country, and I'm dying every fucking single day, and I have 4 children, and we wholly survive because you're a fucking racist people.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't get a job, I can't get a disability, and they took my fucking license because I'm not able to pay the insurance. So why are you fucking trying to kill me?
I'm not trying to
No,
kill you,
you
sir.
are. I'm already died. I don't give a
Set
damn
80.
fuck.
Subject's armed, refusing to give ID. Don't reach for anything,
No,
dude. Don't unbuckle that.
I'm telling you, don't reach. I'm telling you, don't reach. I don't
Subject
give a
keeps
damn
reaching.
fuck. I don't give a damn fuck. If you fucking do anything, don't do anything.
Subject keeps reaching for his weapon.
No, I'm not reaching.
Sure. Just want to use the field. Tell us going to be restricted for 1439.
Sir, I stopped you for a lawful traffic stop.
I don't give a damn fuck.
Okay.
You liars.
I'm not lying.
No, you're
It's
lying.
obviously right there.
You are no. Today's
So
the
what
day,
I'm-
buddy.
what I'm
Today's
asking
the day,
for
fucking
is you to
dumbass
identify
liars,
yourself.
White people, you lied for 25 years.
Car 80 Bravo. Will you direct on that?
You brought me to this country. I started with special forces. I lost my own fucking
Order.
brother. I lost my everything.
I'm sorry.
I have nothing.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, you're sorry to hear that. No, don't play that bullshit.
So you don't have a registration to the vehicle?
You know what? Listen here. You're American, okay?
Yes.
Yes, you are American. I give you my fucking, what do you call that shit? Take it. They took my driving license.
So
Okay?
they took it away?
Yeah, for no fucking reason. I have a hard time with court. I'll show you the paperwork. You won't believe what they say. They don't. When I call them bullshit, the system is fucking broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're going through a really rough time.
Man, I should have served with fucking Taliban better than you. I was concerned and a fucking dumbass fuck when I was concerned about Taliban, but in America, since 2014, I'm concerned about more about you people. Because you lie, because you play games, that's how I'm going deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are my partners here. They're coming up. I don't want you to get rattled, but it's because you were reaching for your weapon.
No, I'm not reading, sir. Hey,
I watched you do it.
I don't give a damn fuck. It brings as many people as you can.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're not listening. What I'm telling you.
I am listening to you.
I have 4 children. Do not reach your gun.
Rob, everybody slow down. Units perhaps 1080, slow it down, 1441.
Hey,
So-
listen, American. This is take it. I take this with you, okay?
So now you want to give me that?
Hey, don't you reach it? No.
Fuck!
800 Bravo, shots fired.
Set 80, I'm hit.
Bravo, shots fired. 800 Bravo, shots fired.
Listen, American. This is take it. I take this with you, okay? No. Hey, don't you reach it? No.
41.
Hey,
So-
listen, American. This is take it. I take this with you, okay?
So now you want to give me that?
Hey, don't you reach it? No. I take this with you, okay?
So now you want to
No.
give me that?
Hey, don't you reach it? No.
Bravo, everybody slow down. Units perhaps 1080, slow it down, 1441.
Hey, listen, American. This is take it. I take this with you, okay? No. Hey, don't you reach it? No.
800 Bravo, shots fired.
800 Bravo, shots fired.
800 Bravo, signal 1.
Both of the officers at the driver's side were hit with rounds from our perpetrator. The officer on the passenger's side then ushered him off his mortal coil. He did not survive. Our perp did not. Both of the officers did survive and will make a full recovery. Boy, there's so much to unpack on this one. Hey, if you're in the Asp Unlimited app, make sure that you watch the first watch that Mike and I got to go through on this one to take some really deep dives on stuff. And if you're watching this on YouTube, join us over in the app, would you? Because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff and exclusive content. You know, Mike, plenty to talk about in this one. Of course, you know, he's making a lawful stop here. This guy is operating a motor vehicle that doesn't have its correct tags on it. We can talk about how much government oversight there is over these kinds of things, but that's another question. And I really want to talk about this guy. I mean, we have a good bit to talk about here, that he's clearly agitated. He's, he's armed. All right, fine. I don't have any problems with open carry. I don't think most people should do it, but all right, if you want to, fine, whatever. I got no problems with it. I'm a big believer in the Second Amendment. And recognizing here, though, that I think the initial officer maybe passed up an opportunity or two for de-escalation, but at the same time, this guy is the one who is escalating things left and right.
Yeah, this guy was already at 11 before the officer ever walked up to the car. He was having a bad day, probably a series of bad events in his life, it sounds like, that led him to be in this sort of sort of rage that he's in the moment the officer walks up. I would make a note here. When someone short stops like that, slams on their brakes, it's one of two things. It's either somebody who's really inexperienced and maybe they're startled by the first time being pulled over, for example. The other one is it's aggressive. It's an aggressive thing to do to slam on the brakes like that, maybe trying to get the cop to rear end you or whatever. So let that be a sign. If you see that at a traffic stop, remember this video and think, okay, well, this could be something. Let me be prepared for that. The B-pillar, we're going to talk about it all throughout this video, I'm afraid. B-pillar is there for a reason. For those who don't know, never watched one of our videos before, the A pillar is the one by the windshield. The B pillar is the one right behind the driver door, the head of the passenger door, the rear passenger door. And the idea is we stay just at or behind that to put the driver at a position of disadvantage. We can see him, he can't see us. If he's going to assault us, he or she has to make this crazy contorted movement and reach over their shoulder with a gun or a knife or whatever they're going to do. He didn't maintain the B pillar very well. Now, especially after you see this person is hyper agitated, in a rough state. They've told you they're armed. Like, this is a good time to either stay well behind the B pillar, or I think, as John wants to talk about, maybe just go back and wait by your car till backup shows up.
Yeah, you know this guy's agitated. He's all pissed off. He's admitted a couple times, I don't have a driver's license. I don't have insurance. So we know this guy is going to have problems here legally. Okay, maybe an opportunity to de-escalate. Hey, I get it, man. He's him. You know, it's you people who did this to me. All right, man. Hey, listen, my name's Jim. I didn't do it to you, and I want to help you today. So I just want to help you get back on the road. And if that doesn't work, it's okay to just say, you stay right there, I'll be right back. And then back up to your cruiser and wait for your backup to arrive. I get it. Officers are trained to take control of a circumstance, take control of a stop, to be in charge. But sometimes slowing your roll is a better answer. I don't know that it would have worked here, Mike. But sometimes that de-escalation is simply to break contact. Hey, man, you stay right there, okay? So you're not free to go, but I'll be right back. You stay right here, okay? Because I want to do my best to help you today. And then wait for your backup. I also think here, he did tell him, when he hears the lights and sirens coming, because he asked him to step it up because the guy was armed, to maybe just tell him, hey, turn the sirens off, guys. This guy's pretty agitated. Come in soft. I'm trying to de-escalate. Would have been a good thing.
Yeah, I concur. That's something that, that's advanced level policing to think, okay, the siren's probably going to agitate this guy. But this is your mental rep. That is a great idea, and one John thought of that I didn't, frankly. I would add, I feel like there were several missed opportunities here to try to give this guy an off-ramp, to build a little bit of rapport with the guy. I know it seems impossible, right? The guy's hyper agitated. There's no way you're going to talk him off of that ledge, but I think there were some opportunities when he mentioned, I assume he was a translator for the Marine Corps or the Army or Navy or something in Afghanistan, and that's how he came to the country. Understand, maybe this guy did get screwed by the government. Maybe he's dealing with taxes and the Citizenship and Immigration Services and a bunch of other stuff, and he feels like he's under assault from the government. Now here you are, basically a representative of said government. He probably doesn't know the difference between a local cop and a federal agency. He's seeing the badge, he's seeing the uniform. You're now a symbol of all the things wrong with his life. Understand that. Try to step out a little bit from behind the badge, as John likes to say. And as John said, connect with him. Hey, my name's Mike, man. You're obviously having a really bad day, and I'm sorry about that. Let's talk about it. Because if you can build a little bit of rapport, talk him down a little bit, give him an off-ramp, maybe this doesn't go down the way it does. Now, I'm not saying that would have happened. Probably wouldn't have happened, but I think a valuable opportunity was kind of squandered a little bit by this officer.
Yeah, and within all that, I want to recognize you can't de-escalate somebody, right? But you can provide them off-ramps, as Mike said, opportunities to de-escalate themselves. Hey, man, my name is John. I'm here to help. I'm so sorry for what's happened to you. I want to get you back on the road and back to your life, okay? Back to your kids and do those things. So tell me, have you had a bad day? What's going on today? Why are we struggling so much today? I don't want to jam you up, okay? I want to just get through this and then get you back on with your day. It may not work. And again, he is in charge of things at the end of the day. I do, again, want to say he's openly carrying a firearm. I don't have a problem with that. I do think it's not necessarily a great idea. And he mentioned to the officer a couple times, don't you draw your gun. Don't touch your gun. That's going to escalate officers 100% of the time. So if you are open carrying or carrying a firearm, even concealed, be kind, be professional to officers. They have a job to do as well. This guy is breaking the law, right? So, okay, if you get pulled over for speeding, well, you just got to take the ticket and deal with it, right? Like, I've been pulled over for speeding. I know you'd never believe I would ever break the law, but I have, and it just happens. Now, I do want to mention here our first officer who showed up. This is the guy who is going to handle all his business. And the first thing that I see here, Mike, that I love the professionalism from this officer that's on camera right now, is that A, he showed up on the passenger side, B, he hugged his B pillar, C, he shut up and let the primary officer deal with the problem, sat and observed, and then solved the problem when it showed up. That's a high level of professionalism.
Yeah, we've talked in the past about the idea of contact and cover. So we don't always get to talk about it ahead of time as officers, as deputies. Hey, you're going to do the talking, I'm going to cover you, whatever. Sometimes you're behind the eight ball. So this officer shows up and he's walking into the situation, getting his bearings. A big part of that secondary, that cover officer's job is to kind of read the room, right? You're showing up, you're late, this thing is already underway. You can see this other officer already has made contact and he's establishing some communication with the guy. The best thing you can do is exactly what this officer does. Everything he did was pretty locked on, right? He sat there quietly, he stayed behind the B pillar, and what's he doing the entire time? He's watching the hands. He's keeping an eye on this guy's hands. You can tell that when the shooting begins because he is like lightning fast reaction to the stimulus that his go signal was this guy's now shooting or trying to manipulate a firearm and or shooting at my partners. So everything he did, I think, was textbook. And by the way, being able to shut up and not talk and not jump in on that sort of thing is a mini superpower, in my opinion. It's hard to do sometimes, but he did it well, John.
Yeah, and when you're the second officer that's showing up to a scene, you are cover. You are not contact. You are cover. So come in, mouth shut, listen, observe, and help where you're needed and help where you're asked. Look for work and do that work. I think he did excellently. Now, this is the exact opposite of that. This officer here who was wearing corporal stripes, okay? He shows up and number one, completely ignores his B pillar. Number two, completely bypasses the contact officer. Number three, initiates physical contact. He's just gonna walk over and grab a hold of this guy, which, again, that doesn't justify the guy drawing a gun on him at all in any way, okay? So the perp drawing a gun on cops is completely egregiously wrong on every level. But this is the trigger that escalates him when he's already right on that trigger. And so this is the kind of badge heavy kind of overaction here that literally, Mike, instigated this gunfight.
Yeah. So again, remember what John said. We're not blaming this officer for this guy's actions. This guy's actions are his actions. But hear what John is saying here. I've worked with these kinds of officers before, and God bless them. Sometimes there is a call. There is a need for the one riot, one Marine, one riot, one deputy mentality. Someone needs to take action and go in there and handle business. However, I don't feel like this is one of those opportunities. What John is saying here is, had he not gone in and established, physical contact and sort of gotten out behind the B pillar, this might not have gone the way it did. Look, we're not Nostradamus. We can't predict what might have happened in another set of circumstances, but I can't help but feel like him stepping in and doing what he did precipitate this guy's actions. And I just don't want to see another officer end up getting shot because he or she decided to do the one riot, one Marine mentality and go in there in a dangerous situation and put themselves honestly at more risk than they needed to.
Yeah, and remember that attitude started with the Texas Rangers, right? So one Ranger, one riot, is kind of where that all began. And there's certainly a time to come in like Terry Tate office linebacker and handle a problem. I just don't think this was it. So read the room, right? You got to read the room. Now, when he does, that guy's going to decide to draw a gun and the gunfight begins. I want to remind every single officer, you are always behind on the initiative profile when it's time for the gunfight. It's the bad guy who initiates the gunfight almost every single time. So you have to be ready to be behind here. This particular one that we stopped at, I stopped at for a reason though, Mike. I want this shown in every academy in America. I want it shown in patrol briefings all across the country to remind every single person, this is why your B pillar matters. Because the only reason this corporal here on the left is alive is because the guy split the difference between them and I think hit them both in the forearm with maybe a single bullet. He easily could have shot that guy right in the face, whose face is on camera. And would have been much more difficult for him to shoot the officer who is behind the B pillar. B pillar is life, never forget it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to add to that, frankly. John kind of covered it all. As I said, the last freeze grab, this is why we don't do this, right? If you are an officer or deputy watching this training or watching this on your own time, if you are, God bless you for seeking out that extra training. this is the freeze grab. This is the screenshot I want you to have in your mind when you're thinking about, well, if this is taking too long, I'm just going to circumvent the process and the policy and all my training and just reach in and try to grab this guy's gun or whatever it is he was trying to accomplish here. Because now he shot through the arm, and he's right-handed, so now he's a lot less able to defend himself. Had he been by himself, had this other cover officer not been there to take action when he did, this could have ended really, really poorly with him being shot to death on the side of the road.
Let's say that again. Had he not had another cover officer here, this bad tactics, techniques, procedures could well have ended with him shot and to death on the side of the road. Because if our perp was not filled in here by the third officer, the second one who showed up, this could have gone terribly wrong as he gets out of the car and keeps firing at these officers. So B-pillar, absolute life. I'm sorry about my phlegm today, guys. I apparently can't talk. I also want to note our primary officer here then backs away. I got no problem with that. And then immediately gets on the radio. I understand why you'd want to do that. I understand, oh no, I'm in trouble. I need help. And if I get on my radio, then it'll bring more cops. You already have 3 cops on scene. Nobody else is going to get there in time. Mike, at this point, I just don't know how we can say much more clearly and how much more we can just state the importance of aviate first, then navigate, and then communicate. Deal with your problem. You are a cop. You've got everything you need on scene to deal with the problem. And only communicate when you've got something where somebody can give you immediate help.
If anything, look, I'm sure I've been around Fairfax County police officers in a professional capacity years ago. I know for 100% certainty that they have emergency buttons on their radios. They probably have them both on the radio and on the pork chop or handheld microphone. That's the one that they usually put on their lapel or in front of them. Big orange button. This is a great time to hit that button. There's no problem with that whatsoever. It takes you literally a split second to reach down if you practiced it and just go boop and hit that button. And that'll let everyone know that really bad things are happening. They already know where you are. They already know who's there with you. They already know that you've got a problem because you called for cover. You've called for a cover unit and you said step it up. So they're rolling code 3 already. Odds are you probably got other officers already on the way code 3 at this point. I'm sure there's other officers in the area that heard this and went, I better get over there in case they need help. Chances are any help that's coming is already on its way. Emer button, this is like a giant advertisement for the emergency button. This is a great time to press it. It lets everybody know things have gone from bad to worse, and you're not taking up, a bunch of time talking on the radio, saying useless things. However, I'm going to give him a break. He just got shot, probably for the first time ever, hopefully for the last time ever, and this is a stressful situation, so I'm not going to give him too much, but hey, Emer button all day.
Yeah, I also just want to remember here that emotional fitness is important, right? You're hit, but you're still up. You're still there. Don't think about what did happen. Think about what needs to happen right now. Oh no, I'm hit, but I'm okay. I still need to be in the fight against this guy because this guy's trying to kill me right now. I need to be in the fight. That's very difficult to do. It takes a great level of emotional fitness. Build it now so that you have it on that day when you need it. Now, I want to just note here, when the first shot breaks and our first 2 officers at the driver's side split because they're both hit, it is our officer on the passenger side, our initial cover officer, who quite frankly, I think just deserves our mad respect here because he sees what's going down, gets his gun out, and ends that threat rather definitively and gets after the problem and makes it end. Where everyone else is splitting out, he's going, I got to do something here, gets his gun out and gets it done. And for this guy, Mike, I got nothing but praise.
This is who I want. I say it all the time. This is who I want patrolling the streets of my city or town. This is the guy I want covering me on a traffic stop. This is the guy I want going through a door with me on a search warrant or a 4th waiver or whatever. Because this guy is obviously taking his training very seriously, his marksmanship very seriously, his draw stroke very seriously, and he is ready to go. As I said earlier about this guy, we're praising him quite a bit, but that's for a reason. The entire time he's standing there, he's not distracted. He's not looking at the birds alighting in the trees or anything else. He's paying attention to that guy's hands, like laser focused on his hands. And only for that reason was he able to react as quickly as he did. I also want to mention, and we'll mention this probably again when we see the other angle from this officer's perspective, from his badge cam, but his angle is perfect. I'm sure in his peripheral vision he can see the other 2 officers have split like the Red Sea and they're running off to wherever they're going to deal with their wounds, and now he's got a clear shot on this guy. But the entire time he's aimed down. He's not endangering any member of the public. He's not endangering his coworkers at all. And he just handled his business. He burned a guy to the ground, frankly. Again, I can't stress enough how being quiet, maybe not even making your presence known to the suspect on a traffic stop like this, reading the room, paying attention, and watching the hands is all the stuff I want my cover officer to do. He did that to a T here, John. It's really almost nearly a perfect performance on his part.
Yeah, super impressive. Another thing, this is just a small thing. Notice the curb that's right behind him. I hear this all the time. Well, you know, you never want to pick your feet up because you will end up, you know, tripping over things. And I want you to notice this officer got over that curb no problem. Now, when you show up as cover officer, it is certainly worth recognizing and going, there's a curb right here. So if I have to back up, I got to get myself over that curb. So if you put that in your mind ahead of time, then when the minute comes, you'll take a nice big tall step so that you don't step on that curb. He did back up. He did get over that curb just fine. And so we can be trained to do that. We can actually do that pretty good. So that's one of those kind of things. And I don't want you to wind up, you know, butt over tea kettle here. You see him, he got to the curb, kind of skirted it, and then hopped right up it. No problem while he's dealing with a deadly threat. So that's definitely a possibility. Now, want to note here, our officer who comes in and decides he's going to grab a hold of the guy, and our dude even has to chamber his firearm. He's carrying a gun unchambered. Terrible idea from a private citizen self-defender or police officer perspective. But I want you to recognize here that even with that, our officer has almost no chance of getting into that car and diving in, especially with his vest on, and taking control of that gun in time. This guy has all the leverage angles. And so while he is at a position of disadvantage overall, in order to hold onto his gun here, he is at a huge position of advantage. And this is why the officer just reaching in and grabbing a hold of him, especially when the guy is armed and agitated, I really think was just an egregious mistake, Mike.
You may have, if you watch the channel long enough, you probably heard me and or John say there is a time to push in, right? There's a time to press in on the weapon and try to disarm someone. This is not one of those times. Understand, if you're this officer and you see this, you need to retreat and draw, right? You need to get out of there, not reach in. For all the reasons that John mentioned and more. This guy has he's seated. I don't know if he's belted or not, but he's in a seated position. His feet are planted. He's got all the leverage in the world to control that gun. You reaching in from the outside like that, as John mentioned, with the vest on, which is keeping you from getting further in than you otherwise might from all that equipment on the front of you. This is a terrible idea every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But the odds of this working are really, it's possible, right? Anything's possible, but it's really unlikely this was going to work out for him. And I really would have preferred to see him scoot back, get behind the B-pillar, draw his gun, and do whatever needs to be done from there. But moving in on this, if this is your mental rep officers and deputies, don't do this because this is almost doomed to fail.
It really is. Now, I also want us to note, our guy here gets the gun out. He's not highly trained with this firearm, and I do want you to notice he has induced a malfunction in the gun. That gun has failed to go into battery, almost certainly because if you watch the kind of interim shots a little bit slowly, he probably fouled it with his thumb, is what my guess would be. I can't say for sure, but that gun is out of battery right now. He has induced a malfunction. So good, yay, this guy is a bad person. He had no justification for drawing his gun here. The officers were in the lawful performance of their duties. He just decided that day he had had enough and he was going to die in a gunfight. But I want to recognize for us as private citizens, A, you should know how to clear a malfunction. B, you should know how to grip your firearm and grip it very, very well and be so absolutely ingrained in your grip that you don't cause malfunctions like this. The number one cause of malfunctions that we see on the channel in real life by a mile are user-induced malfunctions. And so I don't want this guy to have done better. He was doing evil. But I want you to do better when you're in a gunfight so that you don't cause these kinds of problems. And I hope everybody gets that difference, Mike.
Yeah, so about this, some of you might be asking, and it's a legitimate question, hey, shouldn't the officer on the passenger side have recognized this guy's gun is now out of battery and therefore inoperable and not shot him? The answer to that unequivocally is no. There is no way you can expect this officer to perceive that slight out of battery that we're able to see in this freeze grab. I didn't even see it at all the first time I watched it through. John picks this stuff up. One of the things he's really good at is spotting these tiny little things that most people don't notice. This is one of them. There is no possible way the officer on the passenger side could have perceived that his gun was out of battery and done whatever. He could see him clearing it, but look, this guy's already shot your partners, both of your partners. He needs to be stopped, and the only way to stop him is unfortunately a wall of lead, and that's what he did.
That's what he did. Yeah. Boy, I sure don't want people to get the idea that the officer should have figured out that his gun was out of battery. And also, he's going to try to clear that malfunction. If the officer didn't shoot him very quickly here, he was going to get back in the fight. So he was going to clear that malfunction relatively quickly. So just a reminder from me to you as a private citizen, though, or as a police officer, choose a quality firearm, choose quality defensive ammunition, vet your firearm thoroughly, make sure that it's lubed, and then don't have the user-induced malfunctions that we see as a regular occurrence on the channel. These are all lessons that I think are very important out of this one. Now, last kind of bits that we want to look at, there's a couple of things from the other officer's perspective here. Again, just another minute, I want to look and recognize, okay, our guy has both guns out, or it showed real quick, okay, he's drawn a gun, he's got spare magazines on him, so he's utterly a deadly threat. This, again, I know I'm hammering on this point too much, Mike, but this is why your B-pillar is so important. Notice he is just wildly out in front of the window. He is literally in the zone of death. This shot right here should be absolutely chilling to every law enforcement officer in America. This is where the danger is. Was there any justification for this guy drawing a gun on the officers? Absolutely not. This was evil and an egregious misuse of force. The officers have every right to shoot him back, but recognize he certainly could have died here. And if God wasn't on his side, he would have died here. He absolutely would have died here, Mike. And this kind of stuff, when we teach it, and when, of course, not just us, but every police academy, every training sergeant in America is using this for teaching, because of how important this is the kind of stuff we got to teach.
Yeah, a note on training. So when I started in law enforcement back in the late 80s as a young idealistic police explorer in Montgomery County, Maryland, I remember dash cams were relatively new. They weren't in common use, I guess you could say. But every time we'd see, back then there was no badge cams, just dash cams. We'd watch, they would show us these ad nauseum, show us these dash cam videos of cops getting murdered on the side of the road. Every iteration was cop gets shot in the face, cop gets shot in the chest, cop gets killed, cop, ends up losing a gunfight or not even attending a gunfight because it all went down so quickly. So I don't want young officers and deputies and agents watching this to be like, well, I mean, how can you plan? How can you predict this? Every time I see a video, the officer loses or gets shot. Not so. The critical, important lesson from this video, if you only learn one thing from this video, is don't put yourself in this position. And I hate to harp on this officer. I know he was injured, badly in this incident. But don't put yourself in this position. Stay behind your B-pillar at all costs, most especially when someone is agitated, most especially when they've told you they're armed. They're all worked up. They're not de-escalating themselves one bit. This is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. So maybe while you're watching this, take a quick screenshot of your phone or your tablet or whatever, and keep this in your favorites so you see it once or twice a week.
Yeah, make sure that you're seeing that all the time. Just as a reminder, hug your B-pillar, man. That B-pillar is your best friend on earth. It can save your life one day, and it probably won't for 1,000 traffic stops, but on 1,001, it very well could. And there's no harm in being in your B-pillar. So make sure that, again, doesn't do you any wrong, does you a whole lot of good. Now, they call us Officer 3. He was the second officer to show up on scene. I just want to say again, this guy's a stud and is absolutely, I even think, if we can find out who it is, he needs a Special Pants Brigade patch. I will say here, if you notice, just one little tiny thing, tactics, techniques, procedures here. His first few shots went off with one hand on the gun, and then his support hand kind of caught up at the end, and it's struggling to get a two-handed grip. You will shoot fastest and most accurately with two hands on the gun. And you should work your grip of the gun, your draw and grip of the gun, until it is absolutely second nature, until that pathway is so myelinated, if you want to call that muscle memory, you won't hurt my feelings, but that pathway is so ingrained in your mind that you never miss it, and that your second hand comes on the gun early, you get that full firing grip with two hands on the gun, and you don't have to fish for it and hunt for it. This officer had to fish for it a little bit. He still got enough, and this is at short distance, and that's great. And again, his decision-making was so good. His decisiveness was so good. This is just a tiny little thing so that you are even more accurate and faster to protect your life sooner. These are the kind of things that we give, again, this guy gets like a 99.7%, Mike, which is an A+ by anybody's standards.
Yeah, concur 100%. There I said it, John, 100%. And other viewers will be delighted, and they'll comment on that in the comment section that Mike says 100% too much. Okay, back to the video. Listen, I think it's critically important. Everything John just said is absolutely true, right? 100% true, and great training points. The most important thing is to be ready for this moment. What does that mean? confidence in your marksmanship, confidence in your draw, confidence in your grip and your equipment, on the fact that the gun is loaded, the fact that it's chambered. All these things come together in this one split-second moment of truth that's going to decide whether or not you and your partners make it out of the situation alive, or someone's going to come knock on your door and tell your family you've been killed in the line of duty. And I don't want that, and John doesn't want that. So please don't take this as a huge running criticism of these officers. We just want everyone to do a little bit better. Every stop, every call, it's a training iteration. Treat it like one. Watch the hands and cover your asp.